Hello. I'm sorry for yesterday when I legged it pretty darn fast. But my son's girlfriend, partner, fiance, other half had an emergency dentist appointment, and they thought it was at my dentist surgery, and they wanted me to meet them afterwards or go with them or something, and yeah, so I had to zip out quick. So they're going to meet me at my little office, which was nice to see my little office again. I haven't been up there for ages. Ridiculous, really. Oh, I've turned it off. Duh. Yeah, so what are we on here? Oh, I had yet another weird dream last night. My dad was in it. Now, my dad's passed on, and I knew this in the dream, and it was nice. He was coming back home and I was at his house, and I heard him outside the door trying to find his keys, and I unlocked it for him, and he was surprised. But sadly his other half, the witch, who is alive, was at work, and she was going to be coming back shortly, and all of a sudden there was a woman that was related, I think, to the stepmom, the horrible stepmom, I would say, and then there was then there was me and two friends. I don't know them really, they're not friends, but they were in my dream. And there was this joint of beef that I'd cooked, and I'd done some sausages as well, and it was a small bit of beef because it wasn't expecting all these extra people. And yeah, and she got home and there wasn't any beef left because we'd all eaten basically. And even there was a person who in my friendship group who didn't get a piece of beef, but she was complaining, and I was trying to say to the girl, you know, the stepmom, you know, sorry, but you know, we've got all these extra people we didn't realise. And I said, well, there was chips and sausages, there was lots of things under the grill for them. But they wanted the beef. But there was no beef, because it was only a small bit. No way it would have gone round. I said, well, we only all had one slice each. And then when I said that, that's when my friend poked up, said, I didn't even get a slice. Oh, well, what a dream, eh? What a weirdity. In a dream with my dead dad discussing beef, not having enough beef to go around. Oh, and for some strange reason, when you came in the front door, it was like my real mum's old flat that she had, and then it went down into another room, which was like it opened up into like, it was a little hallway. This wasn't like my mum's room though. My mum's room was the room that we first went into through the door, which I unlocked, and then you could go up some steps and you'll be up into the kitchen area, and then on from that was bedrooms, I think, I don't know, I never saw them. But for some strange reason, in the sitting room area, which you had to go through, there was so it was like a sitting room area, and then there was like a little off back bit, you know, which some people would have had in a flat, like say a dining table, and then up the next steps there was a kitchen. But in that next room there was a bathtub in the middle of the room. Very bizarre, because there was another kitchen which was further on down, which was like at my mate's old house down in Dorset, except that had a massive like jacuzzi bath on a plinth thing, and more like a swimming pool bath thing, and it was in her kitchen, that was. And I'd first thought to go and fill that one up, but it was too big. I thought, no, no, no. So I started filling up the other one. But it had a very narrow backrest. And so, but that was where your head went, sort of. But it didn't quite work out like that, because that was more like where your feet went. And the water was very, very shallow. And it was like, and I says to my dad, I said, does this go over when it's, you know, when it's filled? He said, yes, you have to be careful. And I'm, oh, bloody hell. So several times I was going to have the bath, and I kept putting it off for some reason or other, except it was sat there with the water, and it's very weird. And yeah, well, that was my dream. That's the kind of things that I dream of. Very bloody weird, you know. But it was nice seeing my dad again. Very nice seeing him again. And I got a cuddle, I think I got a cuddle. I'm pretty certain I did. So that was nice. Well, it was nice for me. I don't know whether it was nice for him. Bum bum. Wasn't nice for the old witch, but then hey. Yeah. It's weird, because I think the people that I had, they weren't with me. They weren't alive. Well, there was only one that I remember seeing. There was two there, and there was the other one of the stepmom. Stepmom's still alive. I'm still alive, but I don't know. I don't think the others are. I didn't get the feeling that they were. No, there was a slight warmth coming off the off stepmom's friend. Yeah, that was it. I can't describe it. It's like a vibration type warmth. Weird one. Anyway, that was my dream. Yes, I get very, very weird dreams. The worst one was, oh my God, it was frightening. It was really frightening. I was in a field, and it was like back at my old school, primary school, and I was in the field there, except the field went on and on and on and round, and it was you know, it was like I got to it from the back of my high school, but then it turned into something else, into further away, up in this other place, other little village further on up, and there was like fences, you know, like you get in private houses, but it was very weird, because I could see these big like ships, planes, ships, not ships, you know, but airships, advanced planes, very massive, you know, and it was very scary, because they were dropping things, and there was a few people in this thing, and they were running, and then you saw them with things landing on them, and they were going, and I mean, one of them landed near me, and I nearly went for it, you know. I nearly I don't know what happened. It was like I was supposed to be just there watching it, but when you're watching something like that horrible happening, oh God, the fear is with you. And then there was one which opened up a back door of the thing, and this other sort of machine type thing came out, and it was just sending a beam down, you know, like some, you know, like you've seen them on telly, like spy things, where this lighter beam will go down, and it would zap people. It wasn't taking people back up, no, it was zapping them, and they were killing them, or doing something to them, and it was so weird. And then I managed to get through one field, because I was just trying to get away, but it was just filled up the sky so much that it was just like, you know, first off I saw it in a distance and wondering what that weird shape was, what that weird thing was in the sky, and then it kept getting nearer, and then I kept seeing these little things, you know, obviously the the lights go down and other things, and it was like, oh my God, what is going on? And yeah, it was very scary, very, very scary. Luckily I didn't have to look out for anybody, you know. I didn't have any kids with me or anything like that. It was just me, just sort of watching. Very strange. And I also woke up in my friend's old house at one point, and there was a very, very pink red sky. I mean, it was completely and utterly like alien pink. It wasn't like the pinks that we've seen. Very strange. And yeah, and I knew something bad was going to happen, and I looked out the window, and there were some kids playing out in the garden, and I was trying to shout at them, get back in, get back in, you know, because I could see other things coming. So it sort of went on and went on, and it was bloody horrible. But it was real. It was real. I mean, I knew I was dreaming, but it wasn't dreaming. So lucid. Very weird. And I had to try and get somewhere. And then I was on like a different kind of space type ship. No, it's more like a plane. Oh, how can I describe it? It was massive. It was massive and massive and massive. It had loads of floors, loads of area. You know, it took up, I don't know how much space, you know. Imagine the Pentagon type thing, you know, size, bigger than that. And it was up. And I remember being there, and I had to go out and join this. There was this window, and I could see this other, like, docking port coming next to me. And I knew I had to get over there. So I opened my door and I walked down, and there was like, I don't know why, it was a very weird thing. It was like window, and I had to take something with me, not a towel, so it wasn't like whatever, but I had to have something with me because I had to hand it to somebody, and I temporarily lost it, but then I found it, and I had to swap over. And there was only a brief point where I could swap over, and if I didn't make it, then I would be lost in space or whatever. But I don't know whether I did make it or not, or whether I even attempted it, because something else had happened. Very strange. My dreams are very, very interesting, really. And yeah, after time, I sort of forget about them, and then they sort of come back. But it's, God, yeah, that one with the field and the running away and the, oh my God, that was so scary. Even though I knew I couldn't die, it was so big, so real. Oh my God, you know, I did think, can dreams kill you off? And I thought, well, I don't know, this one's coming close. But yeah, does anybody else have weird dreams, like vivid dreams? Oh. Thinks me weird. Oh God, I was watching a thing earlier on today about Musk getting his comeuppance, and I was thinking, oh my God. And there was a thing about AI robots, and then for some strange reason I thought, my God, Musk could be a robot. He could be an alien robot, definitely. And then I thought, oh God, Musk the robot, and then it turned into Musk the Rogot, because he's a bit of a bloody rogue, isn't he? I mean, how can he be? You know, he's a nobody in politics, so to speak, and yet he's got so much control. Oh well. C'est la vie, as they say. It's not my rodeo, but I will watch. And we are heading towards something, that's for sure. Interesting. It is very interesting, the times we live in. We've got earthquakes, we've got lots of volcanic eruptions all over the world. We've got trade tariffs, we've got war, we've got, you know, trade wars, which could be the Third World War, couldn't it? Third World War could be the trade war. Everybody's nervous and jumpy and uncertain. Yeah, all that's missing, I feel, are those airships, those ships coming down. That's what I feel. But well, can't do anything about anything really. So I will just sit here and diamond paint while my mind lives in another universe. AI, eh? Oh my God. You can't tell anymore what is AI and what isn't bloody AI on the internet. I mean, you can tell some things because it's just so bloody repetitive. And some pictures, they don't get people's faces right. And it's the fact is that everybody's, there's quite a lot of people believing it. You know, there was one which I saw, and it was talking about Harry and Meghan having twins. And, well, that's not true. They haven't had twins. They've only got 2 kids. So obviously somebody typed into an AI thing, you know, Harry holding twins. And, yeah, and I couldn't believe how many people underneath were congratulating them. That was the scary bit. There were all these people congratulating them on the great news. And you just sort of think, oh my God. Then you had some people who obviously didn't understand about, you know, who they were to a certain extent, because they kept saying, oh, the Princess of Wales will make such a lovely grandma. And it was like, these are the Sussexes, not Princess of Wales. Princess of Wales is married to William, and she's not a grandma. Definitely not a grandma. But that's just sort of, you know, different languages, I suppose, you know, the barriers and things like that. And but the fact that they were all congratulating them, and you just sort of think, oh my God. You know, it's the same with like the scammers that are on, you know, on Facebook. The ones pretending to be Shaozan and Weibo. And people are believing it. They feel flattered that, whom in their eyes, they think, you know, they are being singled out by that famous person who's held their, you know, who's got their eye, you know, they have got that person's eye. And it's like, no, think about it clearly, logically, rationally, if you can. Get beyond the flattery stage, because you're stuck in flattery and illusion at the minute, or delusion. And then I started thinking, God, this is how people fall for them, and they think, you know, these older women, very old women. I mean, there's one at our group, no, not at our craft group, but at the centre that has the group, holds the group, and she's convinced that this young man is her boyfriend, because he writes or he emails, messages her and all this kind of stuff, and she has given over money to him. She says she hasn't, but you know she has. And she's in that complete denial stage. Oh, he's supposed to be coming over and seeing me. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, there are people out there who like older women of 75 plus years old. Fair enough. There are some people out there. But this person has said coming over to visit and still hasn't made it. And you just know. But she won't hear anything of it. And in some ways, you don't want to break that thing, because that's what she's holding on to. You know, that's giving her some pep, some zing in her life. But at the same point, you sort of think, when reality crashes down, as it inevitably does, she's going to be heartbroken. And then, well, then all we can do is be there to pick up the pieces until the next time. But so there's loads of people out there, and you just sort of think, God, so that, you know, these scammers that pretend they are, you know, especially WiP or Shaozan, and let's face it, Facebook is not over there in China. It's beyond the firewall, the Great China Firewall. And, you know, they would not jeopardize their career, and they would not need money, as this one pointed out, need money, and please fans, can you help, because he's got to have an operation. It's the standard joke one. It's like the, you know, out of all of the things you could choose to say what you need money for, you need an operation. Oh my God, that is the standard one. And it's like, what? Don't they ever realise? But for some people it's working, and then it tries to get them to message them separately. So I go onto these groups or whatever, and I'm forever there saying, don't you dare sort of speak to them separately, because this is not the real one. This is some imposter trying to scam you. What they do is they separate you off, and then they, you know, get your trust and do this sob story. I said, think about it. Would the real Wang Yibo or Shaozan be all day on Facebook, you know, messaging to you? No, they're very, very, very busy all over the place. And they all try to come up with some, you know, things, and you just sort of think, oh dear. So you can only sort of say so much. It's down to them. I give them the information, I give them the whatnot, and then it's down to them. But it isn't half frustrating. You think, oh, please don't, because the more you sort of, you know, do all these loves and, oh, you're so wonderful to this person who can't just admit, you know, that he's using, you know, these celebrities as a cash cow, and the people, the fans, as a cash cow. I've started saying that I have reported, and anybody else should take screenshots and report it to Yahoo Entertainment, which is Yibo's management team, because they take it very seriously. And if it's Shaozan, go to Shaozan Studios and report it to them, because they will take it very seriously. And then I sit back and say, well, soon you'll be sued. And the amount of them suddenly sort of kind of like take the bait, and they sort of disappear for a little while, but then they come back, obviously, when they realise, you know. I mean, I do forward it on, but at the same point, you know, things take time. But I mean, you know, since when are the top two most famous Chinese celebrities, when the heck are they supposed to be poor? No, They're not poor at all. Oh, and oh yeah, that one about the person with the operation. He has to go. He has to go to Mexico for it. that was a decider point. I just thought, oh god, yeah, okay. So why is Yibo going to Mexico? Holiday? Oh, forgot operation. And it's like, oh, for God's sakes, this is just. I was thinking, if they have to go to Mexico, why don't they just pretend they're illegal immigrants? I don't mean that nastily, but you know, let's face it, bloody America are pretty good for shoving these poor people across the border, aren't they? Pretty damn fast. So if you desperately do need to go to Mexico, which obviously you don't, you just want the cash. But yeah, so funny, really, in so many ways. It's ridiculous the way the world is going. Oh God, we had sunshine, and then now we've got rain clouds, and the tiles on the roof are sodden, and they're all dried literally a minute ago. Very peculiar. I have got the fan on, I know, and I'm sorry, but I need to be cool. I know I'm already cool. I'm a cool dude. No, I'm not. But anyway, yes. Yeah. Saw my grandchildren briefly yesterday, because after the dentist appointment, my son and his partner came up to see me in my office. Just sort of had a bit of a breather and stuff. That was nice. Getting on better with them now. I think it is the I'm not spending too much time there. When I go there, I try not to stay too long. I just stay a couple of hours and then I leave. And I stick to that. No excuses from them or from him, basically saying, oh, but I need to finish this off. Well, you know, this is welcome to the real world. This is adulting, you know. You don't ask me if I'm coming over to see the kids and then actually turn it into a, well, you're supposed to be looking after them while we do this. And I'm thinking, well, in your head, that's what you said, but did you tell me that? No. So it's like, but yeah, he was nice and he was joking, and he was being nice joking, as opposed to that, I'm joking with you, but haha, I mean it, which he has done before. I don't know whether it's because now knows that I'm, you know, on the I can't say on the spectrum because that's not quite how we say it anymore. I'm autistic too, neurodivergent. God, I hate those words. I'm sorry, but that's, you know, it is autism. Let's say it as it is, autism. And it's not turn it into something posher sounding to like disappear from the, you know, from the autism side of it. It is autism. And that's that. Yeah, my son's partner, the dentist, God, he was a useless prat. It really was, by the sounds of it. She had an emergency appointment because she's got very bad toothache, and you know, and so she had this appointment, and luckily she got one in our town, but they thought it was my dentist, but it wasn't my dentist. It's the dentist that's just down below me in where my office is. but it's not the dentist I go to. And so they got that one, and she said she turned up there. While she was waiting, there was about 5 or 6 people, I think, might be more, who basically went in and out all before, you know, in quick succession. And they all came out with a piece of paper like she did, i.e. a prescription. And she said she got there, she sat in the seat. Well, first off, you know, they didn't say sit down or anything like that, but she got in the seat eventually. And then he went round her mouth with a tapping tool, and it hit the part which really hurt her. He turned around and said, oh yeah, that's an infection, and gave her a prescription. Now, she was expecting her tooth to be taken out, or at least an x-ray. She had none of that. So he was in and out within 5 minutes, and you just sort of thought, oh my God, oh my God. And he's getting paid God knows how much for that, on an emergency NHS dentist sort of registry, which they get a little bit more, if I recall right. And you just sort of think, yeah, what if it isn't an abscess, an infection? What if it's something a little bit more, you know, like, I don't know. I mean, when I went to the dentist that time with my toothache, not this last time, but the time before, got an emergency appointment, and they said they took an x-ray and they looked at it and I went, oh yeah, and said, well, actually, you know, think realistically this tooth is best coming out. We can do it now for you if you want. And I went, oh God, yes please. And I just went for it. And so they did that, but they did the x-ray, you know, and I was on an emergency appointment. So you just sort of think, loads of people out there who are, I mean, I found out my granddaughter's got to have quite a few teeth out, 5 or 6 teeth out, because she's got this disorder, which means her teeth are going to, can't remember what it was, they've forgotten what it was called, but it was yellowing, whiting, the teeth weren't, had this disorder where they whiten, they go, no, not yellowing and stuff like that, and they're not as strong, and they're brittle, and they crumble, and everything else. So I said maybe a vitamin tablet might help strengthen them a bit, and they said, and the other nana said, no, I don't think so. And I'm thinking, well, it might help a little bit. It won't take the disorder away, because if it's a disorder, it's a disorder, isn't it? But it might help her. And sort of went, yeah, true. But you just sort of think, oh my God, you know, in people's mental health, which is, you know, people turning to drugs because the doctors don't seem to help. Not enough doctors around to help. I mean, I saw something about PIP, and on YouTube this was a British person who helps people with PIP. She's on PIP herself, and she was saying that the doctors, when they do their reports, because you say, yes, you can talk to my GP, which, I mean, she advised you to do, because let's face it, if you don't, then, you know, you've got to have all the support. But these GPs, they haven't got enough time in the day to actually, you know, go through everybody's individual thingamajigs, you know, notes, and then write a report up. I reckon they ought to have somebody who can do all the, you know, at the doctor's surgery, who can do all the things, you know, maybe like nurse practitioner, because they can prescribe. Maybe they can make it that they can do them, and then you're freeing up the doctor's appointments for, because somebody said that they'd asked for the thing and the doctor didn't notice anything. you know, and I didn't put down a lot of things. And I've had that before, but I've gone to the doctor's surgery and I have been absolutely hobbling away. I couldn't get up. I mean, they saw me try to get up, you know, when my back was real pain, and I had to stop every now and then. I was sort of grunting and groaning, you know, and doing what I do when I'm in so much pain. And, you know, with my crutch and everything else like that. And they turned around and said, yeah, basically no observable whatnot noticed. And I'm there thinking, Jesus, and if you're going to write a report to PIP for me, you know, that's not right, because it was observable. But of course it's easier to say no than it is to say yes and then go into what yes is. But it's sort of that person with the PIP thing made me realise. That's why whenever I do my PIP thing, I always print out the sheets from my notes, you know, with my diagnosis, etc. And send letters in, because, well, I can't say they haven't got the information. Well, they can, but if it were to go to tribunal or anything like that, they'd have our job denying it. And I reckon that if you are filling these forms in, if you can, do a video of what you're putting in the envelope, show you putting it in the envelope, each sheet, and sealing the envelope, and then also dropping the envelope into a post box or at the post office. Always get it post office, and always do registered, where they have to sign for it. And get proof of postage, take photos of it, and you know, you keep that until everything's sorted, and then you can, no, I wouldn't, keep it for a little bit longer on, until there's definitely you don't need it anymore. But yeah, cover your back in every which way. Me keep thinking I'm going to do away with Facebook. I hardly ever go on Twitter, or I should say X. I don't want to have anything to do with bloody Elon Rogot. Because he's a dick. He's just in it for his personal gain. Trump's just his puppet, and I really feel Zelensky, why on earth did you do that bloody whatever trade thing it was with that whatnot thing with America? Because you signed that, and then he'll probably put bloody tariffs onto it. And you'll be trapped, stuck in and just so they can offer you help while you're getting the help from everybody else. I don't know. Anyway, enough about politics. Let's go on to politics. Especially not my country's politics. Definitely not Americans. Well, I filled in the form for the Asian themed paint along, year-long paint along thing, and you have to fill in a Google Doc form, and that Google Doc form is hysterical, because at the top it gives you your email address, and then it asks for your email address, and I'm thinking, well, it's just there. And then it asks for your email. I think it asks for your email about 3 times. Your name, obviously, your telephone number, your street address for if any prizes come. But there is no, they should really have the GDPR thing put on the bottom of that. So you can, so they don't sell on your information. I don't think they would, to be honest, but some, they don't store it properly. Yeah. Oh, can't wait to get my pussycat from Diamond Art Club. I'm not allowed to get any more. What's it called? Any more paintings? Someone's made a lovely cake for group tomorrow. I bet it's not gluten free. Ooh, raspberry ripple cake. Right. Oh, this is a bit confetti-ized. I'm seeing, like, if I don't, oh sorry.